just between me and God, didn't tell anybody else, turning all these childhood diaries into what would become, right shortly before I graduated high school, my senior year, my first book. From diary entry to diary entry, talking about what started off, as I said earlier, lemonade stands, the Girl Scout troops, all the different adventures, field trips throughout my life, to suddenly talking about the dark horrors of what was going on and what I was writing that I hoped no one would ever hear, that I couldn't even share with my closest and near dear friends, that I would go on to the diary that, like I said, was once hidden under my mattress, was suddenly now being out there for anybody to pick up and read. An open book. Well, at least most people thought my life was an open book at that time. Little did they know I had a whole, as you know in the beginning, chapter of my life that I had yet to reveal. And you're probably wondering why I went on to write one book and yet never reveal in this book. Never reveal in an interview at the Children's Advocacy Center. Had anyone else ever abused you? Never bring that up. Because at that time I was still carrying too much shame, too much guilt, too much fear. Because that man as a young child told me, I know where you live and I'll find you. That fear that he would come back after me as a high schooler, as a college student. And so I went forward with this book as a message to reach the millions of other survivors that have been sexually abused and give them the courage to step forward, to realize that they don't have to hide in the darkness, that they have nothing to be ashamed of, and that they can find the same strength and courage I found. And sometime reach that place I reached of forgiveness, and realizing forgiveness is a gift you're giving yourself. It's giving yourself the ability to heal and move forward with your life. It's giving yourself the ability to begin to live for today and not in the past. And people often ask me, did I write my childhood diary and publish it to get back at my cousin? Was it revenge? It wasn't revenge at all. I'm not the type of person, as I said when I was little, wanting my cousin to get counseling. If I wanted revenge, I wanted him locked away. This was a book, like I said, I wanted to put a face and voice on. If I wanted revenge, I would have used my real name to expose this family that disowned us. If I wanted revenge, I wouldn't have called my cousin Brian and hidden his real identity. Never once have I slipped up in any public speaking and said his real name. I've gotten so used to saying Brian that I've done a really good job of hiding who he really is. Because my goal is not to put him to shame, to make him feel like this horrible, terrible person. My goal is to reach those that are still living in the darkness. To reach that 83-year-old woman that never came forward with it until my friend and I sat across from each other. She mentioned that I had written a book about this. To reach the 65-year-old that tells me, after hearing me speak at a conference in Texas, that she was able to find her voice. And she had carried this her entire life and never told a soul. To the 45-year-old man that approached me and said, I was so ashamed as a male having this happen to me that I've carried this for 35 years of my life. Too afraid to tell anyone what had happened. And after hearing your message today,